Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I want to discuss what it seems like the whole motorsport world is discussing right now, which is Ross Chastain's move at Martinsville for the NASCAR Xfinity 500. Now, if you haven't seen the clip yet, well, it's absolutely crazy. It's essentially turning video game moves into real life. Now, there's a lot of controversy around this, but I think this is absolutely awesome and a stroke of genius. Check it out. Yes, you saw that correctly. That was wall riding in real life, and he actually managed to pull it off in probably one of the craziest moves in motorsport history. Now, there is a lot of controversy around this. A lot of people are saying, look, he needs to, get them positions gone. He needs to be disqualified, whatever. But in all honesty, I think it was just something that's never been done before. And he thought, do you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And it's made even better by the fact that I believe he needed like P5 or P4. And he went from like 10th to like P5 or P4 just by doing that move, and actually got himself into the playoffs, which I think is absolutely insane. It's absolutely awesome, and it's honestly things like this which motorsport needs. I feel like motorsport in general is so kind of sterilized these days. You cannot do anything out of line without kind of receiving big penalties and all that kind of stuff. And to see something like this be pulled off and actually stick, I believe there's been like no punishment or anything surrounding this yet. There, possibility there could be, but hopefully not. But to see this kind of stick and be pulled off and give himself a shot at a championship is just absolutely hilarious, and I absolutely love it. And honestly, in my honest opinion, this is the kind of move which NASCAR massively needed. Don't get me wrong, NASCAR is such a big sport. It's still over in America. There's a lot of kind of people, these days that even in America are saying, look, it's just not what it once was. And to a certain extent, I have to agree. Now, I'm from the United Kingdom, but I always used to watch the races. In fact, way back when I was a child, we used to actually get them on Sky Sports, quite late on in the day, late at night. And in all honesty, we don't get that these days. In fact, the place that I have to really go and watch these races is actually on YouTube itself. I mostly actually watch the Xfinity series. I don't really watch the Cup series. For some reason, I just really like these kind of up-and-coming drivers, or maybe drivers that are just getting towards their end of the career that can just jump into these cars. I don't know why. There's just something about it. But in all honesty, NASCAR just isn't as popular as it once was. If you think about the, kind of when it started, so let's say from like the late 70s all the way up until I'd probably say maybe late 2000s to kind of early 2010s, NASCAR was insanely popular in a lot of countries. There was a lot of people that used to tune in, watch it, no matter where you were from. Yes, it was mainly an American series, but it used to have a lot of worldwide appeal. It used to appear everywhere, and then it just feels like as if these, I'd say last 5 to 6 years, NASCAR's really just kind of, gone away from the international scene, which in my opinion isn't, great, obviously. I get it's probably still massive in America. I can't comment on that because I am obviously not American. But it just feels like the kind of spectacle around it and the coverage it gets is really massively toned down, from a international standpoint. You don't hear that much about it. And I feel like a move like this has just completely reignited and brought NASCAR into the, into the spotlight again. After plenty of years of not really seeing anything to do with NASCAR, me personally, I do still watch it, like I said, on YouTube. But I feel like for a lot of people, this is probably the first time they've seen any NASCAR footage in a long time. And it's genius. NASCAR really could use this as a bit of a marketing tool. Like, this is the kind of things that happen in our series, which doesn't happen anywhere else, and really kind of use that to their advantage, because I honestly feel like NASCAR needs this kind of thing to go off to really just bring it back to where it once was, especially on an international level. Yes, you get a lot of people, worldwide that'll say it's just turning left, it's not entertaining and all this. And I completely disagree with that. NASCAR is such close racing. It's always known for its crazy characters, wacky, things that you just don't see anywhere else. And again, this is one of those moments where you don't see it anywhere else. You wouldn't see this happen in any other motorsport. So for NASCAR, they really need to jump on this. It's like the Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth incident, I believe back in, I want to say 2014, maybe 2015, when he just absolutely wiped him out of the race. I remember that exploding up everywhere. And, since then, NASCAR's not really had something on this level until this moment of Ross Chastain just pulling out this absolute video game move in real life. And in all honesty, like I said, I absolutely love it. And the fact that he just went for it, decided, look, I believe it was in an interview after as well, he turned around and said, like, I used to do it in NASCAR 2005 back on the GameCube, and I just thought about doing it. It's just so good, honestly. Like, NASCAR, you can take your hats off. Do not penalise this guy. Let it stand. This controversy and this kind of thing that's kicking off with people like, where's the penalty? Don't do it. NASCAR is all about crazy characters, crazy moves, big V8 muscle cars, or stock cars should I say, going around bumping, bashing, and this kind of crazy stuff happening. And honestly, I'm all for it. It's honestly kind of brought me into wanting to watch the Cup Series again. Like I said, I'm mainly an Xfinity watcher, and I don't know why. I've mainly ignored the Cup Series for I'd probably say about 5, maybe 6 years at this point since I last properly watched it. It's honestly been that long, but seeing this move has just made me want to go and watch the Cup Series. And I really hope that NASCAR, take note of what's just happened, allow this move to stick, and just kind of encourage more craziness from the series. And I honestly think this move may just do that. I think a lot of drivers are going to think, okay, well, if he got away with it, maybe just I'm going to try this. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, honestly, it's absolutely great. But that's just my opinion. If you actually go online, go onto Twitter or anywhere on YouTube where this video and footage is being shown from all different angles, you've got kind of two camps. You've got the camp that kind of is, in line with me, where they say, look, this is great for NASCAR. This is the kind of crazy things we expect from America and stock car racing. This is when it's at its best with the most ridiculous, unthinkable thing. But then you've also got, like I've kind of touched on, the people saying, like, look, this should not be allowed to stand. Where's the penalty? Where's this? Where's that? And to be honest, most of them are people that's probably never watched a NASCAR race in their life. Most of these are probably people from, maybe out my way, or people that are into Formula One and such, and that have probably only just seen a NASCAR footage or clip for the first time because this thing's exploding up. And in all honesty, I kind of get it. Yes, it's a bit... I wouldn't say it's necessarily cheating. There was literally, I believe, no rule around it, so they actually cannot penalise him. And all he's done is, an absolute genius move of just saying, look, well, if there's no rule to it, I'm just going to try it. It may work, it may not. And, what can you penalise him for? He's just done something which nobody else has ever thought to do. Or maybe they've thought it and just not gone through with it. But, just that image of this car riding the wall much quicker than everyone else, literally slingshotting, is great. I think it's great for motorsport. I think it's great for NASCAR itself. I think it's going to bring a ton of international attention back to NASCAR. Like I said, I can't comment on how big it is in America. I've heard things where people are saying, look, it's in a bad spot for quite a few years now, and maybe I'm inclined to agree, because like I said, especially from my side, we don't really get coverage anymore, when once upon a time we did, when you had the people like Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart and all that going at it for years in the early 2000s especially. It was still quite big over here. There was never kind of that stigma around it that all they do is turn left. So and honestly, with these updated generation of cars as well, which are very, actually in my opinion, quite good looking and more inclined to sporty versions than standard stock cars, they kind of blend the two together. I honestly feel like this was the perfect season. This was the perfect moment for this to genuinely happen, especially in terms of getting the spotlight back on NASCAR and the spotlight back on these new cars. I feel like, yeah, I mean, why not? You know, NASCAR need to take advantage of this. I feel like if they do punish him for it, it's going to just kind of be like, oh, well, it's just like, you know, other motorsport series like Formula One, where the slightest run over a line or it was absolutely, you know, penalise the driver and then they've got a 5-second penalty. You know, nobody wants to see that. People have been crying out for motorsport series where they take a more laid-back approach and things like this are more openly available to do. And I honestly, like I said, feel like it's a great time for NASCAR to take advantage of that wacky side, which most people do associate with NASCAR, whether it's bumping, bashing, fighting in the pit lane, whole teams kicking off at each other, war riding now. Yeah, honestly, NASCAR, Ross Chastain, thank you so much for bringing NASCAR back into the spotlight and honestly just being, you know, typical crazy American goings on. I absolutely love it. So that is honestly my opinion on the whole situation. I feel like it's an absolutely great thing for the sport. Yes, I've been rambling on, but I really don't care. I feel like I just wanted to talk about this and just kind of get my opinion out there because, yeah, I do absolutely love this move and I think it's great for motorsport in general, a more relaxed approach from the more kind of sterilised, oh, penalties here, penalties there. Just let him do it, let him race. Great move, Ross Chastain. Hilarious. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Peace.